my name is Matt. Of course, you know Slow Panda, and on today's edition, we will be talking about the FLY1MOTORSPORTS SS FENDER FLARE kit. It does come in two different combinations of the 8 and 4-piece kit in carbon fiber or RPF. So I will be discussing with you today on some of the things that you need to know before you buy a set and decide to chop up your vehicle. So we'll get started, and I'm going to go ahead and take off some of my flares so I can show you what goes on when you're installing these. So here's the nitty-gritty about the fender flares. You do have to hack away at the body on the fender to actually get it to fit. On my application, I hacked away probably about an inch, 1.3 of an inch, so almost an inch and a half away on the body so that I could fit everything on there. I was having rubbing issues, so that's why I actually cut away a little bit more than normal, and I actually have it sprayed so it doesn't rust. This is the old wrap on here because I have learned that installing it does scratch up the paint, so I left the old wraps on here to actually give it just something to cushion on. I will be hacking away a little bit more here. This is typically the wheel well bolt that holds in the fender, but I have these quick release tabs here, actually the push pins that I got from advice from some of the guys online, and they gave me some good advice on these push pins and quick releases. I did remove my blinker here, or the reflector here, because this actually will not turn with the certain type of wheels depending if you're running the 235s or not. I went back to the 215s, so it won't rub as much, but it still rubs a little bit. You can tell here on the tire that it does rub. But going back to this, you do see that the fender liner is gone, so you have to remove the fender liner. That's one thing on this, is you lose your fender liner and you have to cut away, and then the next thing you have to figure out is how am I going to mount this, and what hardware am I going to use, and I'll show you right now on what hardware I used. So these are the wheel well washer nut and bolt. The nut is actually inside this washer here, if you see on the bottom, and it's designed so that it will flex. So if you have to a rock or something hits up against it, it'll flex itself and give it some leeway. These are the same things they use on motorcycle windshields, and that's where I kind of got the idea. It was actually low heat that actually gave me the idea on how to mount these. So this is basically what I use. Instead of using rivets, I actually use these instead. Another great tip about these is if they do break off, the actual wheel well nut comes out and it leaves the hole in the same condition as the size you drilled it in. So that's why I don't use these. That's why I use these instead of rivets. The condition of the hole will stay the same profile. If you use rivets, it'll expand. So that's the other thing. That's why I use it. Alright, so the back is a little bit different. You actually have two pieces of metal, the bottom of the fender and the top of the fender. And when you cut away at that, it actually will open up a seam here. And the seam will have to be put back together. The proper way to do it is you actually weld those two seams back together, and that will bring the structure integrity back to the rear fender. So you want to weld it all the way back down. A lot of people don't do that, but that's not the proper way to do it. You need to have these back secured. Mine is actually re-secured, and I actually put a layer of rhino liner on here. So this is actually a layer of rhino liner that is actually put on here to help with it so it doesn't rust or anything. And all that rock chip, because of all the rocks the tires pick up, this will actually help out with not denting it and having it to rust. So that is another thing that they don't tell you when you're actually putting on the flares. So then again, you have to get these two pieces and fuse them back together, and then protect the coating that's underneath here. And that's the proper way to actually install the flares for the rear. And you have to do that on both sides. So on my flares, I actually ended up putting fill foam on the inside. I found out that there is a lot of dirt that actually gets caught up in this section here of the flares. If you decide to get flares, this is one thing you may want to think about, is actually filling with fill foam so the dirt just hits it and comes out. This is my way of doing it. I need to clean this up and spray it again, but this actually was the quickest way for me to stop getting all that dirt build up in here. The other way too is you can also drill holes in these sections here so that the water and dirt will come out, or it'll build up kind of like this right here. I need to clean that out. But this is another section of the back flare, and this actually will line up pretty good because the seams on the flares, like I said earlier, the seams on the flares actually match the body. So once these go on, it lines up perfectly and match with your body. So that's why they fit so well. So that's another thing about the flares, is when you decide to put them on, you got to figure out these little pockets in here. And that's another quick tip, is the pockets in here have to be covered. Alright guys, so I hope all these tips that I've provided with you so far help you in your decision if you're going to stick with a stock Abarth or if you're going to cut it up and add flares to it. Just remember, whatever you do, take your time and make sure you have the right hardware. Again, these flares are from FLY1MOTORSPORTS. They are the Carbon Series 4-piece set. You can give Low Heat a call at FLY1MOTORSPORTS.com if you have any questions on what you want to do with your vehicle. So just remember, these flares fit really well. That's why I chose to go with this set. And if you have any questions, just make sure you drop a comment below. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Again, my name is Matt and this is Slow Panda. Thank you for watching.